Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, and this is the voting edition of Inspiration from Spin Class. I plan to have a voting edition each time I do this until the midterm elections. And I was actually thinking about something to do with voting when the class started with the words, "We're here to work," and that made me think about showing up for stuff. Are we going to show up today for our lives, for what's actually going on? It's really hard sometimes, right, to show up to what's actually going on when we have so many horrible things. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on what happened in the last few days, you could hear my sermon that I posted from yesterday. The shooting at the synagogue, of course, was horrific. I mentioned how my own Jewish grandfather, Leon, fought in World War II, and how I kind of thought we already dealt with this problem. Of course, I know that these people are still around, but still it seems like it's really bad. So it's hard to show up to that. So we always, as I've been saying, we gotta keep in mind the positive things. I also talked about Matthew Shepard's internment at Washington National Cathedral last week, which was a healing experience. And to hold on, we have to hold these things, we have to hold on to both of these things and sort of live in that tension. And when the tension's getting really bad, we've got to remember we do have some agency. We live in a democracy, or at least a representative government, and it is time to vote again. In the Episcopal Church, we never tell people how to vote. We talk about the gospel, we talk about the good news of God, which certainly leads me to vote in certain ways, but that's my take on it, and I would never presume to tell anyone how to vote, but we do encourage voting. And I've heard about some people who haven't voted in years who are voting this year, and I find that incredibly positive and a really good sign for our country. So we're going to show up, right? We're going to show up to our lives today, holding things in tension, living in the tension, looking at what's really hard to look at, being real about it, but also the good things and knowing we're not alone. And of course, that's the biggest thing for me as a person of faith, that I believe we're never alone. God is with us in all of it, strengthening us to be the people God's created us to be. And Christian community is always here for us. We're here for each other. So I hope you have a great first day of the week. Stay positive, but be real. Let's get out there and do what we can.